Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy JZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about the 2017 British horror film that follows four friends who take a hiking trip into a Swedish forest and encounter an ancient evil. David Bruckner directed this. It was written by Joe Barton, so yeah, The Ritual is a 2011 novel that got adapted to a movie as well. So yeah, we're gonna get into critical reception. Kind of talk about the entire plot. There's spoiler reviews. Not that anything in this movie is really shocking. You're not really surprised at what happens, but let's get into it. So getting into the plot, this follows five friends: Phil, Dom, Hutch, Luke, and Rob. They meet at a pub and discuss plans for a group holiday. They want to go on a vacation pretty much together. Rob suggests hiking in Sweden but gets rebuffed. Afterwards, Luke and Rob leave to purchase alcohol but interrupt a robbery in progress. Sorry, my eyes look like shit. I'm fucking tired as hell. Luke hides while the thieves harass Rob for his valuables. Luke nearly intervenes but stops himself before the thieves kill Rob for disobeying him. He's not gonna give him his wedding ring and stuff. He didn't listen, and they killed him. And obviously there's a lot of guilt that comes with this, and I feel like this is a big theme in the entire movie. Now, Rob having to live with this. So 6 months later, the remaining four embark on a hiking trip along the Kungsleden in northern Sweden in memory of Rob. So they want to fulfill his wish now that he's passed on, and yeah, they want to honor him, memorialize him, however you want to put it. So a day later, Dom injures his knee. Hutch suggests they cut through the forest rather than use the longer marked trail. They don't want to go on any long trails because they know that Dom's probably not going to make it through. The guy doesn't look like he's in great physical shape anyways to begin with, but upon entering the forest, the group come across a gutted elk hanging from several branches, as well as mysterious symbols carved in the trees. So you kind of see the red flags. It takes a little bit for this movie to really get it going. The trip takes a little bit before we start seeing signs of, okay, there's some weird stuff going on here. The movie does seem a bit drawn out because we don't really see this monster or anything till halfway through the film. So as night falls, a torrential rainstorm forces them to find shelter. They discover an abandoned cabin which they break into for the night. And wow, how convenient that they found this fucking cabin, eh? Wow. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Inside, they find necklaces bearing similar symbols and an effigy of a decapitated human torso made of two eggs with antlers for hands. And we're going to realize why that thing's there later in the film. During the night, Luke has a nightmare about the robbery. The next morning, the group awake to find Luke's chest bleeding from puncture wounds and a naked Phil praying to the effigy. All of them having had nightmares. This is like a cursed house, and the Wendigo or whatever kind of makes its presence known with these nightmares. Disturbed by their unconscious actions, the group seeks to leave the woods. So, while discerning their location, Luke spots a large figure amongst the trees, but Dom doubts him. It's oh, you're just seeing shit now. Now you're just hallucinating and you're paranoid. In their ensuing argument, Dom calls Luke a coward for letting Rob die. Yeah, obviously there's a big fight. Why the hell didn't you do anything? It's not like Dom would have did anything either, let's be honest. But yeah. Later that night, Luke is having another nightmare about the robbery and is awakened by Phil's screams. He emerges from his tent and finds Hutch's tent empty and partially collapsed. The remaining three men rush deeper into the woods to search for him, but by dawn they realize they are lost and unable to locate their campsite. They don't have any fucking supplies, so yeah, it's kind of fucked. They have to keep going without their supplies. They're probably going to starve soon, get thirsty soon as well. Continuing their search without their supplies, they find Hutch gutted and impaled on tree branches. They give him an impromptu burial. They take him down, they bury him with sticks. Yeah, just like the elk, he's sitting there hung from the tree, gutted, sprawled out with branches in his body. It's super fucked. Around sunset, Phil is suddenly dragged away by an unseen creature, so now people are starting to die a little bit. This film's starting to pick up the traction. I guess it's fine for a slow burner, but I don't know. Maybe this movie wasn't a slow burner. Let me know in the comments. I feel like the looming threat was kind of a cool concept. Kind of gives you kind of like a Predator vibe. Uh, I don't know. Luke and Dom decide to run. As the creature gives chase, the men find a torch-lined path leading to a small settlement and rush into a cottage. After entering, they are knocked unconscious. There's people that live here. These are the people that like worship this Wendigo. That's what the legends call it in real life. I think they call it something different in the movie though. So when they awake, they find themselves restrained in a cellar, trapped, pretty much held captive. An elderly woman enters and inspects Luke's chest wounds, revealing she bears a similar marking. So this is like the mark of the Wendigo. This is the sign that you're like a chosen one of sorts, you know. And since Dom doesn't have it, you can kind of assume what's going to happen to him. So on her way out, she orders two men to take Dom upstairs. A younger woman enters and explains that preparations are being made for a sacrifice. Sometime later, a beaten Dom is returned to the basement. He tells Luke that he is to be sacrificed to the creature, urging him to escape and destroy the village before he too is sacrificed. It's kind of interesting. I thought the marks would have made him safe from sacrifice, but I guess not. Desperate to escape, Luke breaks his thumb and partially frees himself from his restraints as Dom is tied up outside by the townsfolk. There's no saving him. He's long gone. I mean, you can try, Luke, but it's not going to happen. Amidst the ritual, Dom has a vision of his wife emerging from the forest, only to realize it is the creature as it picks him up and impales him on a nearby tree. Obviously, like before the ritual kind of starts, he looks around and he sees people hanging from trees. Like, by their chests, or like fucking impaled by a tree branch. That's what happens to everyone that gets sacrificed by this thing. These people are really fucked up, and the fact that you would believe in something like this, I mean, obviously the thing is real in this film, but the fact that you would believe that something like this is right is kind of crazy. Sometime later, the young woman returns. When Luke asks about the creature, she explains that it is a Jotun named Moder, an ancient godlike entity and an offspring of Loki that the cult provides sacrifices to in return for immortality. These people are hoping to like never die. That's not going to happen. That's not realistic. Yeah. Luke has been chosen as to either worship Moder or be sacrificed. So after she leaves, Luke fully frees himself and ventures upstairs, and this is probably one of the creepiest scenes in this entire movie. This scene is fucked. Armed with a torch, he finds a congregation of mummified worshippers that begin to move and sets them alight, burning the cabin and attracting Moder. These are like the people he's supposed to keep immortal and save. And these are the people, they are immortal. I mean, yeah, they're dead, but they're like making noises and stuff. That's what you hear from upstairs. It's kind of crazy, honestly. Like, this movie's wild. I don't know. Luke finds a hunting rifle and heads downstairs, killing a follower before taking another man's axe. The enraged Jotun kills the young woman while Luke shoots at her and escapes. This is the young woman's like letting this happen, and it, like, makes her look bad. The Jotun thinks that she might have did it. Blah blah blah. Moder pursues him, crippling his mind with hallucinations of Rob's death before catching and forcing him to his knees. I guess that's kind of the monster's MO, to like kind of trip you over your past mistakes. I don't know. It's strange. Luke refuses to submit and strikes her with the axe. He is not letting down. This thing is not getting the best of him at all. Following hallucinatory signposts and rays of sunlight, he emerges in an open field. Unable to leave the forest, Moder roars in anger while Luke shouts back in triumph before heading towards a paved road. So yeah, the Moder is pretty much stuck in the woods, and all Luke had to do is escape. Obviously easier said than done. This was a pretty dense forest, but it's the plot convenience. He got out of there. But yeah, let's kind of get into a review. I don't have a whole lot to say about this film, but let's go. So getting into the review, this is a Netflix original, so kind of take that with a grain of salt. It's not like these are amazing films by any means. I think it's a solid movie. I'm not going to say it's amazing. It's cool. You know, if you want to watch it with your friends or with your family and have fun with it, it's a fun film, I guess. Like, it's cool to explore this legend, but I don't know. Director David Bruckner makes evocative use of the Scandinavian setting and a dedicated cast to deliver a handsome, if familiar, horror story. It looks good on screen. I mean, it's a pretty average horror film, though, in general. That's what I would say. I mean, the film's it's pretty decent. I mean, it was efficient and highly effective in its style, relying on sound, creepy production design, and the men's own fear and misjudgments to create the sense of pervasive doom. Um, yeah, I mean, the most disappointing. It's probably one of the most disappointing kind of bad horror movie. The kind that's too smart to be this dumb. Like they know what they're talking about, this urban legend, but it could be better. You see in the title, like it could be better, man. Or in the thumbnail, whatever. I don't know. I mean, David Bruckner had all the ingredients for a horror masterpiece. Deceptively scenic wilderness shots, great character camaraderie, dreadful atmosphere setting, but the ritual winds up a missed opportunity. I feel like this is a movie that probably could have been a cult classic, but I don't know. And David Bruckner is an amazing director. I don't know. I guess something about working for Netflix and something about a Netflix original film always seems to disappoint, make a movie disappointing. Like no matter what's on paper, what's on the table here. But I don't know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. It's a cool movie. I'm not gonna give high praise to it. I don't think it's really amazing or anything. It's fine. It's an okay movie. It's a doable movie. If you want something to watch and if you watch literally every horror movie ever, just watch this. I guess. I don't know. I'm out, guys.